Hey everybody, it's Sherry, back with the Legend Actually podcast. Welcome back, guys. Today, we are joined with a guest co-host, Big Nige. Some of you guys might remember Big Nige from a crossover episode we did when we talked about the WNBA and the Brittany Griner interview. He is going to be joining me, guys. We're going to start recapping 90 Day the Other Way. Welcome, Nige.
Good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So, guys, if this is your first time here, what we do over at Legend Actually, we do reality TV recaps. We also do pop culture. And right now, we're starting to get into doing some riveting interviews. We are in the middle now of doing a series on Design Your Wealth Mindset. It's a financial series, particularly for us ladies. So, if you haven't, go on over there and check out part 1, where I interviewed co-author Morgana Jones that wrote the book Design Your Wealth Mindset. There are 4 other ladies that co-authored with her, and they are going to be on our podcast. And yours truly will be talking to all of those ladies, giving you even more gems from that dynamic book. Stay tuned for that. But on today, guys, we are going to revamp things a little bit. So we're going to start recapping TLC's 90 Day the Other Way. I know that a lot of our actualizers out there love the 90 Day franchise. I've gotten some requests to do the recaps. And so, you know what? I have to give the folks what they want. So, if you're new, welcome. If you're a part of the actualizer family already, welcome back. Go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Go ahead and like this video. It's a free way that you can support our channel. And also, guys, if you haven't yet, I don't know what you're waiting on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that, you join the family, and then hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop that good content. And last but not least, when you find something good, if you're like me, I want to share it with my family and friends. So go ahead and share it with the masses. We are still trying to reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers. We are closing in on 4,000 thanks to you guys. So if you please keep supporting us, we're going to get there. So thanks, guys. All right. Now we're not going to hold you long, but we came up here to chat with you a little bit about 90 Day the Other Way. So, Big Notch, 2 episodes have already aired, and you're no stranger to the 90 Day franchise. We're going to go ahead and let our viewers know who the couples are. Then I'm going to get your take on so far what you think about the season. We're going to give you a little light recap. We're not going to play by play. We're just going to talk about the couples, kind of see where they're at, what we think about them. And hopefully you guys are tuning in. If not, go ahead and tune in so you can join us next week. Come back and join the chat. So on this season, which is season 6, we have returning Shekinah and Sarper. Shekinah's from California, Sarper's from Turkey. We have returning Statler and Dempsey, fan faves. Statler's from Texas and Dempsey is from England. And we have some newcomers, Josh from South Carolina, Lily from China, James from Maine, Matalia or Tata from Indonesia. And we have Corona from Pennsylvania and Ingi from Iceland. So not. What do you think of our 90 Day the Other Way couples?
It's an interesting spot to start. I definitely think my first favorite couple so far is definitely Shekinah and Sarper. And they just feel like these two have this interesting dynamic where they feel like they're like speaking about their chemistry and how they have this history and this past, but every time they talk to their friends, they're like, you sure about this? To Shekinah's, point, there's all these things about how Sarper is this bad boy. He's got this bottle collection that like ticks her off. And then she's talking to her friends about it. And it's like, she's just going through all the issues that they've had. And then she tries to convince her friends, like, and I'm still moving to Turkey. Even though he hasn't given up the bottle collection, he's still kind of iffy about her going out in the public. She won't let him train female clients. It's just
Mhm.
so many back and forth things that's like, are you guys really sure y'all want to be moving together? Like y'all haven't even fixed your issues long distance, let alone the boatloads of issues that could come in, living together. So they're definitely my couple to look out on. Um, it's they might even be the ones to be an early exit, just because these guys, like, they both are very toxic and they both kind of
Very.
start flaming out against each other for their separate reasons. Um, so they're kind of like my toxic watch couple. Um,
Okay.
I think Stalter and Dempsey, they have an innocent, kind of like cute dynamic. Dempsey obviously being the one that's, on the go, wants to live in the back of a van. Could not be me, but more power to her. And then you have, Stalter, who she's out there in her own respects. And, it seems like, when she was talking about everything, like ADHD, like squirrel moments. You could clearly see that as she was explaining herself and, her situation. She's not one to sugarcoat her words. She even was telling the producers, like, yeah, I'm about to go live in England. We don't even have a place to like legitimately stay. So yes, it sounds crazy. And at least she's one of the first people that will actually admit that some of the stuff that they're doing is just
Sounds
out of this
crazy.
world. But that's what you got to be when you're on 90 Day Fiance, I guess. But they're cute. I think Josh and Lily, there's still some more layers we need to unpack there.
Hmm.
Josh is going from having everything established in South Carolina to now basically making no money because of the whole K1 visa status.
Right.
So he won't be able to work for a good while. Then you have Lily, who's got her established brand, and of course she's going to be the breadwinner. That's going to be interesting dynamic for them, especially going over to China when the male is predominantly the breadwinner.
True that.
So I look forward to seeing how that dynamic, flows, especially since both of them don't speak like their fluent languages. Like he doesn't know much Mandarin and she doesn't speak very good English. So there's going to be definitely a language gap, and when they need to, discuss their incoming issues. James and Tali, I'm just gonna call it Tata because
Yeah.
that's just easier. And I think these two are my favorite couple so far, just because you can see right off the bat James cares greatly about Tata, like
Absolutely.
to the point where he's just willing to go against the grain, his friends, family, whatever, just to put her health on the line or put her health first, so that um, they can see for the betterment of their future. What I will say about James, he's gotten a couple red flags early on because he's a procrastinator. These big, hard conversations, he likes to wait to the last minute. At least what I've seen so far in these two episodes. Telling Tata about their dog Jojo, who she sees as their child as of this point because they don't have kids yet, and that's a whole nother point of contention that they're going to have coming on about the
Absolutely.
whole. He's not sure if he wants kids, and she definitely
He
wants
does.
kids. So that's going to be a point of conflict that we'll be definitely paying attention to. But you know, he's telling his family late that he's going to have to forego the family business to go live in Indonesia with her, and obviously the dog thing with Tata. So again, he's definitely communication seems to be like their weak point. So that's something we'll definitely have to make note of and continue to monitor as the season goes on. But they definitely have a genuine love connection. And even though they can bicker a little bit, they know at the end of the day that home is where these two are, together.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then Corona and Ingy, I don't know too much about them yet. I haven't. That's probably the least couple that I've kind of been like following along with, just
Right.
because everyone else have been um, more consistent, more prominent, definitely more entertaining. But I look for them to spice things up. Again, don't know too much about them as of this point, but they'll probably be a sleeper couple for sure.
I agree. I mean, you hit it on the nail, Nige. Big Nige. For me, being that Shekinah and Sarper, they are returners, I will say, not my fave, not my fave couple. I find them to be horribly superficial. And to be honest, Sarper and his philandering ways, the big number of the 2,000 women is ridiculous. A grown, rusty man who is proud. And first of all, I don't believe it. And second of all, if it was true, it certainly isn't something, in my opinion, to brag about. She kind of seems ridiculous with her attempts to sound very Kardashian-ish. She and her plastic surgery, the whole thing with, her getting ready to get a new nose that he's going to help her pick out. I mean, we kind of we lived through it last season. Them on the reunion, they got tore up pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's we're gonna have to see what goes on there. It's they're good for TV, but I'm certainly not gonna say that they're my favorite couple. Of course, they add that sauce, she's jealous, doesn't want him to train those ladies because of his past. He don't want her to go out, and she's a socialite. God, there's so many red flags, and I'm with you, Nige. The toxicity is at an all-time high there. And what infuriates me most, not only do they have the dog now that she brought up to Turkey, she actually has a true life human daughter that, her daughter's well taken care of, honey. Her the child's daddy is obviously loaded and, has the daughter or whatever that but when you bring someone, when you choose to, number one, relocate, well, I guess they have actually decided that he will be coming into the United States now. So it is she that is going to apply for the K1 visa to bring him over. But she's in Turkey for now because that could take a long time. I just find them to be nauseatingly superficial, fake. My opinion. Weigh in on the comments. Let me know what you think of Shekinah and Sarper. Not a big fan. I will tell you who I am a fan of, and that's Statler and Dempsey. First of all, let me say that Statler is the most quirky, self-admittedly, dry wit, adorable. Her and Dempsey both. They're simply just adorable, right? I mean, to me, and again, guys, we want you to put in the comments what you think here, but Statler reminds me of a young Janine Garofalo. And Big Nige, you may not know who she is. She's a comedian slash actress who is known. She has the dark hair, and she's known for her dry humor with, with Statler, she has the monotone face, but she's funny. Dempsey is the sweet soul that has the need to travel and to see the world and to not be confined. She's a free spirit. Statler, like you said, seems to struggle with responsibility, focus, because she complained about, well, we don't even have a place to stay, but they had a plan. Statler had a responsibility for her portion to assist with them getting the van. Dempsey sold off all of her goods to prepare. Statler just came up short. So, with that being said, honey, we are definitely going to be tuned into them because though I am pulling for them, Statler has admitted in her past, she's been, this is for those that don't know, and we got a picture of them there. They are same-sex couple. They are lesbian couple. Statler has passed with the ladies, she loved them, leave them, or whatever. And I think that monogamy, commitment are things she struggles with, but she's willing because Dempsey is an amazing woman. And she's certainly willing to try, but we saw her struggle last season. She did commit, but when Dempsey brought around the friends, they had their concerns around her father. He had some. So it'll be interesting to see this season how they develop. Okay, Josh and Lily. Ciao. The language barrier. They met on a language app. And there's a tidbit here I have, and I don't know if I read this or it's alluded in future episodes, that Lily is not as businessly sound as she is presenting herself to be. And so as Josh, and this is going to be great to watch as he comes, and Nigel, you're right. The dynamics in China, generally, yeah, the man is the breadwinner. So there's going to be that. There's definitely the language barrier, but child, they will not be the first couple that literally have to use a freaking phone translator to communicate. Y'all, listen, relationships are tough as it is when you can't even speak the same language, which let's be clear. Even when you speak the same language, sometimes are you speaking the same language?
No.
Right. So there's that. I'm going to also agree with Big Nige on James and Tata. The love, y'all, is sincerely there. They definitely love each other. James' procrastination to not be honest with his family, ugh, that's going to be something. Fact that he didn't tell her about the dog. And then the fact that, you know, this is for her health. We say that Tata's, saying that something in the atmosphere in Maine is just not good for her or whatever. But I don't know if it's that so much or if she really just is that homesick. What are your thoughts, Nige? Big Nige?
Uh, I mean, they said that the doctors are kind of giving her the runaround about like I think it's something with like her breathing. Like it's like it hurts to just breathe naturally. I
Right.
mean, I don't know if it's homesickness as it is. Maybe they're just not communicating like what's actually wrong with her, so the doctors can't properly diagnose her. Whatever the case may be. But I mean, you to your point, it could be that she just wants to go back and see her family.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, to go from Indonesia to Maine, I mean, Maine can be very cold. The altitude may be different. So there certainly are some things there. I think one of the things that I'm interested to see, she had made some promises to her father, or he had, one of which is to make sure that he could provide for his daughter, that that they would have babies, and then there was a third one, and now cannot remember what it was. But he has a big fear of getting over to Indonesia and not being able to be the provider. To your point, Big Nige, currently he's working with his family business, and this is not the first time he's flaked on them to run behind a woman, which,
Mhm.
to be fair, he kind of, like I said, so their reaction, because he did finally tell his brother and sister-in-law, their reaction was one of shock, because it's like we've been here before. This time he went to Florida, or that time he went to Florida behind his first wife, and that marriage lasted what, a year? He said, if
I think it was below that. It might have been like a little
right
under a year.
now, him and Tata have already been married 2 years. I think they're solid. I don't think that's the issue, but what I'll be interested to see is how he will adapt in being in Indonesia, and the fact that the business situation, and apparently their father, they would be working with her father in the banana chip business. Okay, not sure um, how that works, but it sounds like it would be something like they get fronted the banana chips, and then it's up to them to kind of figure out a way to sell them, and it just doesn't seem very ironed out. Like it's not a really well laid out plan. So there's that. And Corona and NG, you're right. They did not get. They're still in the development as a couple. They were not highlighted on last night's episode at all. And in the first episode, it was really introduction, and mainly we saw Corona. She is studying to be a midwife, and she is getting ready or prepared to give all that up to go to Iceland, which, Corona being a Black woman, NG being, from Iceland. Iceland is not very diverse. Her family has their concerns, rightfully so. They even ask her, are there any Black people in Iceland, and she makes a joke, yeah, maybe 5. That would be interesting. And you're right, because we don't know a whole lot about them just yet, but the dynamics, like, have you ever wanted to go to Iceland, Big Nige?
Heck no.
Right. Um, to see a sister in Iceland, I'm here for it. I want to check it out, right? So, guys, mainly tonight, what we wanted to do is kind of just give you guys the background. We want to introduce the couples, give our opinions. Last night's episode, we basically covered a lot of what's going on. Dempsey and Statler are trying to come together and get this van so that they can see the world. Apparently, Statler's job is one such that she can be anywhere, because I pretty much, the way I gathered, that she works remotely.
Yeah, she like works in like sales, so she can work
Right,
fully remotely.
right. So, it's something that Dempsey's always wanted. Statler promised she was down, but I think she's getting cold feet. Um, we talked about James and Tata. She's going off to Indonesia. He's going to follow later. He hadn't before, she's going with the knowledge at the last minute that he has not told his family. He hadn't prepared for the dog to go. And I'm certain she clearly has fears that he'll change his mind and actually not even come to Indonesia, which I don't think it's going to happen. But
No.
that was her fear. But they made up before she got on the plane, and he's preparing to do what he needs to get over there to join her in Indonesia and make a life with her. And he's even still considering about the whole wanting to have children thing. Now, Big Nige, let's unpack that for a second. What did you think about what he said about the reason for not wanting to have children? I found that interesting.
His main point was the world is crazy, and like COVID pretty much just like discouraged him from having any hope of having kids, I guess in the near future. And I mean, she's 28 and he's 33, I believe. I mean, time's ticking, man. I don't, it's not like the world's gonna be a better place in the next 2 to 3 years. It's gonna be
Right?
the exact same. So if you're getting cold feet on that, when that's something that your partner desperately wants and something you communicated to his father, I mean to her father, I mean, make promises you can't keep. That don't go well for any culture.
No, it
So
doesn't.
I think it's a cop out. Personally, I think he might have some concerns, and I'm sure every couple does. But to just say that COVID ruined your chances of having kids, I don't buy that. I don't really don't. I don't think he wants kids. To be honest with you, he just don't
I
want to
agree
tell
with
him.
you. I agree with you. I do, because I mean, let's excuse me. Let's be clear. Yeah, I think when we were all home for that time during COVID, we probably saw people, things, situations. I mean, we sat home and we saw some pretty rough things come uncovered, right? Many people say 2020 was, the year of eye-opening things being uncovered, and a lot of unrest and things happen in the world. And we sat there, and then the whole COVID situation was just sad and tragic. However, such is the world we live in, right? And I'm gonna have to go with what you said, Big Nige. I think he just has cold feet and is just not sure he wants to be a dad. And look, that's a big deal. I mean, when you're discussing your lives together before you get married, those are things that that with how you want to live, whatever. But children, that's a big deal. If you have your partner wants to have kids and you don't, that could be a deal breaker. So
Especially though, but to his point, as a man, you don't want to bring a child into this world if you're not financially set. Like
true.
if he's about to uproot their lives and go to Indonesia, they got to have a plan in place. They got to have some money saved up, and like I said, the clock is ticking. But you knew this before you were going to make that move. So I think it'd have been better for them to stay in the US where he had steady income. She could have found work, and then that conversation to kids might have been easier. But now you're going all the way to Indonesia, and now that might be, pushing out that timetable in a spot that neither one of them might not be comfortable for it. So they got to get their finances in order first before they even talk about having kids.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that comes together. I mean, it seemed the more that he asked her about this whole banana chip business, she all just seemed to get angry and
Yeah,
flustered. And that's clear because it's clear that she didn't have a plan. So yeah, guys, we're gonna keep tuning in and see how that unfolds. And then, last but not least, featured on last night's episode, Shekinah and Sarper. Shekinah, as Big Nige had told you that we see all these red flags, and they both, are talking to their friends, and their friends have their reservations. Yet and still, Shekinah flies on into Turkey. Child Sarper was in tears, y'all. Mr. Playboy wept when he saw his woman. All
yeah.
right, Sarfa, I'm not buying it, but okay. Anywho, child, all was well till she saw them daggone bottles. Big Nige. Okay, school me, cause what is her issue with the bottles?
They have each bottle has a specific memory with a past female partner, from what they said at the tell-all last year.
Okay, okay. Cause I'm like, okay, does he have a problem with alcohol? I mean, child, I missed that part. Okay, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of him getting rid of them, he tidies them up in a little case. That's crazy. Nah, I would have a problem with that too. Homie, Sarper, get rid of the bottles, homie. I mean, really? What you holding on to them for, right?
I can't think of a reason why. I mean, it's one thing if you're talking to your friends about whatever past that you had, but like if it's true, like you say it is, then you don't need bottles to remind you, just you have the good times that y'all shared. Now you're moving on with somebody else. If she wants the bottles gone, just get rid of them. I mean,
Right. Out of
I don't
respect,
see why
right?
he's keeping them.
Child, me neither. But the way she looked and she came up in there, it's gonna be them bottles or Shekinah, y'all. And I'm tuning in next week to see who's gonna win. I think we might know, but so guys, they're really this is really where it kind of ended, and I am interested to see how these couples evolve throughout the season. Of course, we're going to keep coming back on every Wednesday and talk to you about each new episode, and we'll follow it until we get to the tell-all. So, guys, for my 90 days, we're going to give you what you want. And from there, we'll keep going with the franchise. I would like to say, coming up for all those guys, we're not forgetting about my special Bravo lovers. Real Housewives of Orange County is coming, y'all, on Thursday. I cannot wait. I have been so excited to dig back into some Real Housewives. And I hope they bring it because I had to let New Jersey go bye-bye because they were just, we all know, I started off, and like I've started off with the other ones before, and I told you guys, I'm not going to hold you. If they're not bringing it, I'm not going to sit before you and waste your time. When something notable happens, I hop on and we talk about it. So, New Jersey, we will be back to talk about the finale. That's the big one we're all waiting on. We have 3 episodes to go. We will be back to recap New Jersey's finale, but we will start Real Housewives of Orange County. I cannot wait. Y'all, this proves to be an exciting season with the return of Alexis Bellino, who's now dating Shannon Bedore's ex, John Jansen. Ciao, we got my girl Heather Dubrow back with her fabulousness. I can't wait. So yes, y'all know me and Bravo, so stay tuned for that. Also, I wanted to tell you guys, please stay tuned for our crossover episode, because like I told you, my guest co-host here, Big Nige, he is over there with Goatcast Podcast. So guys, I'm gonna let him plug their channel, but I also want to invite you guys back we're going to be doing another crossover with Big Nige and CW from Goatcast Podcast, and we're going to recap Clipped. If you haven't seen it, it's on FX, airing on Hulu now, all episodes. And it's about the Clippers and their owner and the whole scandal with child. We're going to clue you in. Come back and find out. That's all I'm saying. Donald Sterling, V. Stiviano, and the Clippers. Child, come on back. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the Clippers at whole. They're called the most cursed team in the NBA. And we're going to talk about why. And we're going to bring Big Nige and CW back to our resident NBA and WNBA experts. They're going to bring it. Nige, go ahead and tell us viewers a little bit more about your channel, what you and CW do over there.
Yeah, so like you guys saw in the previous video, we had talked about the Brittany Griner, Caitlin Clark, that whole talk. Me and of course CW, we have the Goatcast podcast where we talk, basketball topics, past, present, future. And we tend to ruffle some feathers over there. So if you want to hear a good time, get some good basketball conversation there, definitely should check us out. We post really good content, trying to get on the more consistent side. So definitely you should check us out. You won't be disappointed.
That's right. So all of my basketball enthusiasts, you need to go check them out, Goatcast Podcast. And before we let you go, I just want to remind you again, come back and join us for Real Housewives of Orange County. Come back. I'm going to be promoting our next part of Design Your Wealth Mindset. Again, go ahead and get spooled up. Part 1 is available for you to go back and watch. Y'all, you don't want to miss those gems. You're never too young or too old to learn something, to get your financial status up, and to get yourself on the journey to financial freedom. That's what we all want, right? So make sure you stay tuned for that. And on that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Actualizer fam. Thank you for new fam. Thank you for sharing this video. Nige, I'm going to let you close it out. And we're going to say goodnight.
All right. Thank y'all for having me. Obviously, I'm not here to replace Sherry's other co-host, Bria. But again, I'm just here to shed some light, give maybe a male's perspective on 90 Day Fiance, hopefully maybe justify some of the craziness or just laugh at the craziness like the rest of us. We'll see. But like I said, definitely check me out on the Goatcast podcast with me and CW. And hopefully you guys don't crucify me too much in the comment section if you don't agree with what I'm talking about. But I appreciate y'all for having me. Hopefully y'all get used to this face.
All right. And on that note, we thank you, Big Nige, and thank you guys for tuning in. Come back and see us next time. We love you guys. Good night.